are always on the hunt for powerful, long-term themes with real staying power. And unfortunately, few themes seem to have more staying power than cybersecurity. One side effect of the massive growth in the cloud and the data center space is there's tons of information out there just waiting to be hacked. And as we know from the Equifax drama, if companies don't stay on top of this stuff, cyber thieves can get their hands on all sorts of data. This cybersecurity trend is so powerful that tonight I want to talk to a privately held company in order to get some more insight into the industry. I'm talking about McAfee, one of the most recognizable names in cybersecurity, which was acquired by Intel in 2011. Then last year, Intel sold a majority stake to TPG, a private equity firm, which brings us to the McAfee of today. So let's dig deeper with Chris Young, the CEO of McAfee, get a better sense of cyber threats, where this industry is headed. Mr. Young, welcome to Mad Money. Great to have you.
All right.
How are you? Have a seat.
Thanks.
All right, now I've come to believe from the headlines that nobody's safe and that nothing can be stopped. But you guys have stopped a lot of threats. So where the heck are we here?
It's the problem's getting worse. Two words: volume is going up,
right,
and complexity, speed, it's increasing. Okay. These guys are moving faster than ever.
Yeah, but okay, so the bad guys, they're smart. And sometimes they're well-funded, and they seem to be able to know exactly where the breach is. The Equifax, they knew where the weakness was. How are they probing all the time? How do they know?
They're constantly probing and constantly testing. Like, you look at some of the big attacks we've seen this year, like WannaCry or NotPetya.
Right.
They're using those as a way to test where to go next.
But if they see, sometimes I think, okay, you have a house. You have houses on a block, okay?
Right.
And one of them says ADP and the other one says nothing. I'm going to hit the one that has nothing. If they see McAfee, don't they go on to the next one?
A lot of times they do that. And a lot of the thing is run faster than the next guy if you're being chased by a bear.
So, I mean, you have, 432 million total endpoints, 82 million corporate endpoints, 103,000 corporate customers? I mean, how do you cover all those guys?
It's about going deep, and it's about going broad. We cover all those guys across their endpoints, across the cloud, and really trying to make them stronger and smarter in terms of how they bring all their security technology together.
Okay, so we've had VMware on earlier. Yep. And the first thing I thought was like, well, if you see VMware, that you guys are mortal enemies. That's not how it works in this business, right?
Not at all. You need a bunch of different types of companies. You need the infrastructure guys. You need those of us who focus on cyber.
Now, when I see, I'm going to mention something because everybody's talking about it, Bitcoin. I mean, you're not protected. It's not your job to protect Bitcoin. But why can't that just be hacked repeatedly and people just steal billions in Bitcoin?
Look, at the foundation of Bitcoin is the blockchain. I actually think blockchain offers a lot of interesting things that we could do with security. In particular, it's all crypto-based. So in particular, identity is something that blockchain could offer a lot of new solutions around.
But if I'm a bad guy, I want blockchain because no one knows who I am, and I hack and I make a secure transaction, and you won't know who I am, and I get away with billions.
If you compromise identity, you can get away with a lot of things.
Right.
So the blockchain can't stop that, but it can actually make a solid ledger of the transactions that happen.
All right, so but on my PC on a given day, there's going to be junk that I get. There's going to be, like, someone sent me something today which says, typically it's like, if your uncle left you $1 million. I mean, how does that get to me? Why isn't that stopped?
Because you want the legitimate things to get to you, right? I mean, the most secure house is one you can't get into and out of, so you got to be able to use it. So in order for you to get things that matter, you're going to get some things that don't matter.
All right, so do you ever try to hack yourself? Do you have a bad guy group in McAfee who's just literally trying to go after each other?
All the time. Like, we have guys who are constantly trying to penetrate our own organization and trying to expose our own vulnerabilities. It happens every day.
Now, I know this is a sensitive question, but have you seen hacks where if you had been there and been hired, you were quite confident they would not have occurred?
We come in at the end of a lot of data breaches. It happens all the time. It's part of our job. And there are a lot of good stories where we actually do stop attacks from happening, and we do help organizations.
Now, we keep hearing that for the personal computer, they get in, they find things that you don't want known, and they give you a 1-800 number where you give them Bitcoin. I mean, how did we get to this point?
Ransomware is one of the fastest growing attacks that we are seeing out there.
But how do we stop it? I mean, can't we arrest any? Does anyone ever go to jail for doing this stuff?
I think people do go to jail, but not enough.
We've never seen one.
Not enough. I tell you, law enforcement's a big problem here.
Well, so why isn't law enforcement hiring you to stop this stuff?
Well, part of the problem is if we think about the law enforcement in physical ways, like these guys attacking us could be sitting, you could have some high school kid in another country that's levying an attack on somebody here in the U.S.
Or it could be North Korea.
Could be anybody.
Well, we've got to stop it. Well, I guess we just hire you, and hopefully, they go on to somebody else.
We're part of it, but I'll tell you, one of the things that I talk about all the time when I talk to other CEOs is you got to have a culture of security. It's got to matter. 10 years ago, if I would ask a CEO about cybersecurity, he might say, yeah, I got some guy in IT that's working on this. Now everybody cares, and I think that's going to make a big difference.
All right, that is, because people start companies now. They have to worry about it. Yeah. Okay, that's Chris Young, CEO of McAfee, not publicly traded, although I kind of wish it would be, because it sounds like they're doing something to stop this stuff. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.